What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for Lines.com, Playpicks.com. Going to talk to you about Sunday night football between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Before we get going, as always, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Down below, you'll get notified every single time we go live with everything. Everything we do at the Lines over at Lines.com is absolutely free. So definitely go ahead and do that. Also, give us a thumbs up on this video, and then let us know in the comment section how you are going to play what looks to be a really, really fun game between the Seahawks and the Cardinals. If we take a look here on the injury side of things, guys, this is where we kind of start always when we're doing our handicapping. Jamal Adams is out again for the Seahawks. Again, their big acquisition is going to be out for another week for them. It looks like guard that Mike Upati is going to be out as well for them. On the Cardinal side, a whole bunch of questionable guys, which we won't know until 90 minutes before kickoff. So certainly something, if you feel like any of these injuries, well, one is certainly huge in DeAndre Hopkins, but looks like he's going to go. But if you feel like any of these other ones, Kevin Beachum, offensive lineman, Jordan Phillips, defensive end, Dre Kirkpatrick, cornerback, Kyle Fitz is linebacker, and then Dennis Gardeck is a linebacker as well. And all questionable. And again, DeAndre Hopkins is questionable, but it looks like he's going to be able to go, despite some weird comments earlier in the week by Cliff Kingsbury, who said he hoped that DeAndre Hopkins was going to be able to go. But all indications, according to Adam Schefter, is that DeAndre Hopkins is going to be good to go in this game. So let's take a look over here on DraftKings. 3.5, 54.5, minus 186 on the Seahawks on the money line. Same plus 163 here on the money line on the Cardinals. Over here at FanDuel, 3.5, 54.5, 188, 158 on the money lines. And over here at William Hill, 3.5, 54.5, 185, and 165 on the money lines there. We have a full written breakdown over here at the line, so be sure if you want to come and check this out, you certainly can. And I'll leave this up here in case you just want to start to read along as we talk about some of the key elements of this game. So the Seahawks offense, as you know, has been basically unstoppable. Russell Wilson, the overwhelming NFL MVP candidate right now, favorite. If you look at their stats here, even their advanced stats, right? So yards per play, 6.6, which is first overall in the NFL. If you look at their rushing offense, according to DVOA, 8th overall. Pass offense, DVOA, 3rd overall. Their pass blocking, according to Pro Football Focus, 12th overall. Run blocking, 4th overall. So basically they've been doing everything well on the offensive side of the ball. But then you look at the Cardinals, and I think there's a little bit of discrepancy here. So you can see there's certainly some things that they're doing well. DVOA actually has them up as the second best rush offense in all of the NFL. Yards per play, they're up there, 6.1, 8th overall. But run blocking has been terrible. Their pass blocking has been about league average. Pass offense DVOA, 18th overall in the league. Now, what we saw from Kyler Murray last week, 188 yards passing, but 140 of those yards came on 2 plays. There was an 80-yarder and a 60-yarder. Outside of that, it was a pretty mediocre performance by Kyler Murray against the Cowboys, right? So it is not something I think that that I'm going to be completely buying into. As far as pace goes in this game, guys, and I'll scroll down if you want to continue to read along. So Cardinals, second fastest team in the NFL, whereas the Seahawks are the 3rd slowest team. So basically it's going to even things out. Typically, if there's a team that's kind of in the middle of the pack and then they're playing a Cardinals type situation, you can expect that team to run more plays because whenever you look at it, basically what's going to happen is they're going to have to play up to the pace of the Cardinals. Their Cardinals are going to be jamming through. So basically what we can expect here, Seahawks maybe run a couple more plays than usual. The Cardinals maybe run a couple plays fewer than usual, but not really anything because the Seahawks play so slow and the Cardinals play so fast. It'll kind of even out there. So let's go ahead and take a look on the defensive side of the ball, and I'll go ahead and click over here so you can kind of take a look at the odds at DraftKings and these the credible menus that they've got at these places. Seahawks defense, Run defense is actually third overall in the league. So you talked about that the Cardinals actually had a good run offense, but the Seahawks run defense has actually been very, very good. Third overall, according to Pro Football Focus, opponents are only averaging under 4 yards a carry against the Seahawks team. If you look at their DVOA rank against the run, 9th overall in the NFL. So what you can see is they're really getting it done stopping the run. Where they're not getting it done is stopping the pass. They're actually giving up 370 yards a game through the air. And no, I did not misspeak. 370 yards a game through the air. DVOA pass rank, 29th. PFF has their pass rush way down at 28th. So really, really missing Jamal Adams in that secondary. And of course, just it's a different unit right back there altogether. That said, the Cowboys secondary wasn't all that great either, and Kyler Murray struggled with them. So to think that this just is definitely going to be a smash spot for Kyler Murray is not necessarily the case, but certainly things are looking up in his favor. Over here, FanDuel. So Cardinals defense, PFF has their rush defense 21st, their pass defense 27th. Pass rush 27th, coverage grade 17th. So not a lot of love from PFF, but they do actually grade out okay DVOA. So it's one of those weird situations where PFF and DVOA don't really see eye to eye on how these teams are playing. Cardinals defense is one of these teams. Pass defense 10th overall DVOA, run defense 10th overall DVOA. So you can see PFF and DVOA actually disagreeing here as to what this Cardinals defense is all about. I think it's actually somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's as good as what DVOA says. I don't think it's as bad as what PFF says. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. It's probably about a middle of the pack type of defense whenever things are all said and done in this one. So we'll go over here and let's start with some of these player props. And I'm actually going to have a couple player props in this game, going to have a couple player props in my account. Let's just start with the quarterbacks here. And if you want to play these passing totals, you can see it's always worth shopping around. So Murray is 269.5 and 285.5 over here on DraftKings. If you go to FanDuel, you'll just click player props. So Murray's at 269.5, 289.5, 269.5. You can see you're getting 5 yards better on Russell Wilson over here at DraftKings if you wanted to bet the over than you are over here on FanDuel. If we went over to William Hill, just in case you want to do that, Russ is at 288 over here. And then if we're trying to find Kyler, boy, this is not the menu's a little tough to find what we're going for here. Let's just use the old Command F. And so passing yards 268.5 over here. So you actually do get a yard from what you're getting at DraftKings and FanDuel if you wanted to bet the over on Kyler Murray. So you're actually getting that better over here at William Hill. This is where I'm going to have some action, and this has already been juiced. Holy mackerel, has this been juiced since I looked at it last. So Russell Wilson has thrown for at least 2 touchdown passes in every single game so far this year, which is why the over 1.5 has been juiced now all the way to 286, which is craziness. If there is a way to find another prop on that, would certainly be the way to go. I like the over on that, but 286, man, that has been juiced absolutely crazy. Passing touchdowns. So here's over 1.5 at 210 at William Hill. So that is much, much better than 286 that you're getting over at DraftKings. So just keep that in mind, that if you do want that in your account. But man, this thing has been juiced up. And again, people have the same information I do. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns in every single game that he's played. They don't really run inside the red zone very much. You've got Lockett, you've got DK Metcalf, you've even got Greg Olsen when you get down there into the red zone as well. So there's just so many options for Russ Wilson, and really do like the over on that one. Let's take a look at the rushing yards. We're going to have no rushing yards plays. That being said, if you believe Chase Edmonds is going to be a little bit more involved in this game than he was in last game, Kenyon Drake basically controlled all those touches, but that was rare, right? It was actually, people were thinking that we were going to get towards more of a 60-40-ish type split between Drake and Edmonds. And, Drake goes out, has the big game, and now people are wondering if Chase Edmonds even going to be a part of the game at all. If you think he is going to be back in there as part of a decent part of the game, 18 is not very much for him if he's able to get, 6 carries, right, in the game, 6 or 7 carries in the game. If you think he can get that, you'd be taking the over there. I have a slight lean to the under on Kyler Murray rushing yards. I mean, that's 45 is just a lot of rushing yards for him. I mean, he's certainly capable of breaking a big one, but that's just a lot of rushing yards for a quarterback. Where we're getting involved a lot is going to be in the receiving yards market. DK Metcalf over 68.5. Now it's just to 143 over here on DraftKings. It's all the way up to 76.5 over here on FanDuel. So we won't do that, but let's see if we can oh, there it is. DK Metcalf receiving yards. So it's 140 over here, and it's 143 at DraftKings. So a couple of pennies better over here on William Hill. I have DK Metcalf in the low 80s. So this is a pretty significant edge on the over. In my projections, I kind of have him coming in at more like 83, like between 83 and 86 yards. So this is a pretty big advantage on the over for us here. I actually have Tyler Lockett, for what it's worth, coming in at like 73 yards. It's not as big of an edge, but over here you can see William Hill has Tyler Lockett at 65.5. What do we have him over here at DraftKings? Oh, you can see. So 71.5 over here on DraftKings, and you're getting 65.5 over here on William Hill, whereas you're only paying 3 more pennies in juice. So I actually have my projections have both of these guys being over, and both of the numbers are best over here in the player prop section over on William Hill. So all of those going to be in my account as well. Also have a slight lean towards Chase Edmonds being more involved in this offense this week. So again, slight lean to the over on Chase Edmonds receiving yards as well. So I just don't think Kenyon Drake is going to demand 85% of the backfield touches and 85% of all of that. So for me, going to be looking at doing that. The only other one down here that I was looking at, if you wanted to go on Metcalf and Lockett, both sitting here at over 5.5. One of those guys is going to go over 5.5, which is why they're both plus money. One of them's going to go over. It just depends on which one is going to get the more targets in this game. If you have a better feel about that, go about that. It's not going to make it in my account, but one of these guys is definitely going to have 7 or 8 catches in this game. It just, which one is it? These guys get over 50% of the target share. So literally every other pass that Russell Wilson throws in this game is going to be going to DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. There's just not really a big third presence in this offense at all. So one of these guys definitely will have definitely have at least 6 catches in this game. It just depends on which one you think it is, whether it's Metcalf or Lockett. Let's talk a little bit about this total, guys. It is sitting at 54.5 right now at all of the books, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 54.5. Everywhere we look. If I were playing this game, so let's just assume you're playing this game as a one game, as a single game teaser, right? Like, so you're going to do same game teaser on this. I think you have to look at the over here. I mean, you have if you wanted to tease this down, or if you're catching this early in the day and you wanted to, make this part of a leg or something like that or whatever. But look, if you look at these offenses, one, Seattle, the way that they've been moving the ball up and down the field, the way that they have been going, the way that they have been absolutely cruising against every single team that they played, it's going to equal points for sure. And if Kyler Murray can be a little bit more accurate this week, well, way more accurate than he was last week, 9 of 24 last week against the Cowboys. If he can be more accurate this week, we already talked about it. one, the secondary's been giving up a ton, but also the reason for them giving up as much as they have been is the fact that they're playing from a lead, right? So when the Seahawks are always out in front, the other teams have to abandon the run and just pass. That's always going to have raw counting stats be higher. So like just the raw yardage of 370 yards a game passing, if every team's throwing 45 times a game against you, then you're naturally just going to give up more yardage. Also, if you're in the lead a lot, and if you're up by, 7 plus, 10 plus, 14 plus points in games, you also play a little bit softer coverage as well. So you give the offense just a little bit so that you don't get burned deep. So some of that is noise, right? But secondary certainly hasn't been good at all. So if I'm playing the total in this game, I'm playing the over. No way I'm going to bet on futility in the Seahawks offense. I just don't think that that's possible. Russell Wilson's just been too good. Two really, really good receivers, some ancillary pieces there as well. And then this Arizona Cardinals offense. Look, like I said, DeAndre Hopkins looks like he's going to play. If there was any reason that DeAndre Hopkins didn't play, maybe you do it then at that point come in on the under, but I think it'd be a big, big shocker if he didn't play. Like I said, that questionable tag has kind of been around for him for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and he's played every single time. But my big bet of the week, I'm on Seattle 3.5. Coming off of a bye here for this team. Again, I think that the Cardinals are a little bit fraudulent when you look at some of the underlying stats here. Kyler Murray's just not been very efficient, and he hasn't been very accurate. And despite the fact that the Seahawks don't have an incredibly good pass rush, I don't know if that's really going to matter all that much because they're going to score nearly every time that they have the ball. And so can the Cardinals keep up? Can Kyler Murray keep up in this offense? And I just don't believe that's going to be the case. Look, you're going to be one-dimensional here if you're the Cardinals. The one thing that the Seahawks do actually really well is stuff the run and stop the run. So it's a one-dimensional offense then at that point from the Cardinals throwing. And we saw just last week against a team that's not good. The Cowboys are terrible, actually. And Kyler Murray really couldn't get it done through the air. Again, 140 of the 188 passes came on 2 plays. Broken coverages, a 60-yarder and an 80-yarder. So Seahawks 3.5 for me. No way I'm betting against Russell Wilson in this offense the way that they're going right now, the way that this team is rolling. Going to be all over that. And, of course, those props that we mentioned as well. Head over to the lines, guys. If you live in any of these states right here, go ahead and click on whatever state it might be, Pennsylvania, Colorado, whatever. We have the very best sign-up offers at all the different books. So you get free money, free bets, match bets, all the different stuff like that. So be sure and take advantage of any of those. If you're in Colorado, you can see, there's $25 free at DraftKings, so absolutely no deposit required. Deposit matches, bet matches, all the different stuff like that. And as you can see, as we were comparing the prop numbers and juice and things like that, it's very important to have accounts at multiple books, if at all humanly possible, because you're costing yourself money if you're not doing that. You can get better numbers, better prices, better juice, all the things like that. Guys, give us a thumbs up in this video. Let us know in the comment section how you are betting this game tonight. If there's anything I missed, let me know as well. And of course, go ahead and give us a subscribe so you'll be notified every time we make some comments. Good luck here on Sunday Night Football, and good luck with all your bets.